dramatic and deeply concerning rise in anti-Semitism around the world, in the United States, and on our campuses.
While testifying on Capitol Hill, Harvard President Claudine Gay denounced any trace of anti-Semitism, calling it a symptom of ignorance. She said the institution is working hard to confront hate while preserving free speech. Gay, along with the presidents of MIT.
So I'm going live. I'm being interviewed by Juandolyn Stokes. Her radio show is out of Atlanta, and I am going to be talking about coping through with stress during the holidays, or how to cope. I'm not sure. It's a background. So let me say my prayer real quick.
Survey, however, does show Donald Trump with a massive lead over Haley in the Republican primary and a point lead over Biden in the general election. A Bitcoin rally may be underway, and some speculators are predicting Bitcoin to reach $100,000.
Decrease me, God. Elevate you.
Bitcoin has rallied more than 120% this year and is currently trading above $41,000. The crypto industry has been hit with a litany of issues, from the collapse of coins and projects to bankruptcy.
So she'll be coming up shortly. So she's interviewing me about this is an expert on there actually about coping with. Make sure I missed it. I have my notes here. But coping with stress, depression, and anxiety over the holidays. So this is radio, so I'm not camera ready. But I just wanted to catch some behind the scenes. She already said we'll be back with Kendéll, Lenice, and she said colon cancer survivor and certified transformational life coach. So I actually was told it was about one thing, but sometimes when you're being interviewed and you may think it's about something, and then it transitions into others. So ask God to just allow me to say what needs to be said and to be able to get through this.
Get back to doing what you love. And don't forget, you can use your HSA and FSA funds. Call Future Kinetics for a free consultation. 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026. Once again, 770-285-8026. And you already know they are really man approved. It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. And you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. Your business. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving.
So sometimes when you're doing interviews, it's just, you wait for your time
One more if you're not physically
and you
active.
just go.
Another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes. Another if you've
So you guys get to see the
If you're overweight, raise another finger. Two,
not so fun side.
if you're really overweight.
But
You've just taken the world's first audio-free diabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit
I have my mic.
doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no you, just prediabetes.
So hopefully they heard me when I had it. I didn't have it on speaker. So I wonder if I put it on speaker so you all can hear the interview as well. I wonder. I don't know how that's going to go. So apparently, great people have been on this radio show that she's been doing out of Atlanta. So I'm honored. Oh, I just wanted to hear. I'm honored to be a part of this show. It's amazing. They talk about real topics, and those are the kind of things that I love. They talk about real topics, real issues. So I'm excited. Every time I've done so many interviews, but every time I do it, I have this. Oh,
Today.
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Certified transformational coach is our guest speaker, author,
and colon cancer survivor. We're so glad
Yes.
to have you. Just kind of chat with us for a little bit about just some things that you've gone through, and also things that will inspire and encourage others. Why being a certified transformational coach? So there are a lot of different types of coaches out there, but what makes yours distinguished or different?
Yes. First, Juandolyn, I'm so excited and thank you for having me on
You're
today.
welcome.
I appreciate you immensely, and your show is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate that.
you're so welcome. So, transformational life coach. I've been doing this work for 25 years. It's my passion. I know this is my assignment to do this because even as a child, I've been doing this before it was even a title, before it was even, as a lot, because we're shaped, God shapes us when we're young, and everything that we're doing is a part of us. So in any field where it's a service field and we're helping people, it has to be, I believe, innately in you first before it becomes that career.
Okay.
Yeah. So transformational life coach is, people talk about change all the time. Change is difficult. People don't like change. People fear change. But transformation is learning, understanding, and growing through that change and transforming. So I like to use transformation opposed to change, because change can often be temporary until you get whatever you want to get, or someone sees you, or at that, you know what I'm saying? So change is just temporary, but transformational, it's transforming the way you think, the way you process information, how you expose your feelings and emotions. It's transforming those bad habits, whether it's procrastination. It's transforming how you look at love, how you look at life, how you look at God, how you look at different things. So it's transforming someone with the tools that they already have and what they have inside them. So transforming them in any genre of life, because life is life, and we need some help out here.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's important for me to give in that mighty way.
When you talk about like transformation, what's happening in that whole process of transformation as opposed to change?
That's a good question. Transformation is going to hurt, because if I say, Wandolin, I am going to give you $1 million if you change your eating habits, right? So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
do everything that you're supposed to do, and they say that you're supposed to do to get that $1 million. And then once you get that $1 million, you're going to go back to the same old habits, the same old behaviors, because you don't have something to help you get to that mark, whatever that is. When it comes to
Mm-hmm.
transformation, it's changing the way you think. So you're saying, okay, well, I need to eat right because I want to live long, because I have high blood pressure, because of this. So let me transform the things that I do and how I eat, so I can have a better life for myself, and it can be a lasting, and it's not a fad or a trick just to get you to that side of change.
I see. And so that's very important. Would you say that change, or well, this type of transformation, is it a type of process that just takes a moment for a person to be open to?
Oh, absolutely. Because just like change, I mean, we can talk about different words between change and transformation. And I explained that earlier. But no one wants
Mm-hmm.
transformation. No one wants change, because it's easy to continuously do the same things that you've been doing in the manner that you've been doing them. So it is a
Mm-hmm.
rough process. We start from scratch. I take my clients all the way back. Like, okay, so when did this behavior start? And the difference between a life coach and a therapist, and I am a certified life coach. I've been doing this, is my life's work. So the difference is, a therapist might stay in the past because they want to see how it's rooted, and then you'll work through that. But I want to eventually bring them to, so a lot of clients even have therapy and life coaching at the same time, because I want to bring them to the now, and how can we, even though these things have happened in the past and these are rooted in this way, how can we move forward in our future? So sometimes people don't like revisiting, or some people don't understand, because if you're constantly defensive, it didn't happen right now. So there was a time or a moment where you felt like you had to defend yourself in this type of way, which may be aggression, it may be name calling, it may be, things that are not flattering, and not and speaking from a place of unhealed spaces. So we start there. Okay, when was the time that you didn't feel love, or you didn't love yourself? Did someone implant that in you? Did someone put that in you with the words that they chose to use, or the behavior they chose to display to you? So we start there, and then we work through to the now, and to have a better future. And I always tell my clients, it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you've gone through, because we're going through. And as long as we're alive, we'll still have that through period. So how can we get through in a healthy, mighty way that's sustaining you through the rest of your life? Because here's the thing, I want everyone to really, it's a cliche, live your best life, live your best life. But if you're unhealed, it's sometimes difficult to live your best life, or you don't know what that looks like when you're living in an unhealed space. It's almost like someone described to me when they need cataract surgery. It's like mayonnaise is smeared on your eyes, like you can't see. And then when people get cataract surgery, it's like it's a whole new world out here in these streets.
Right.
And that's really, yeah, and that's really what it's like. It's living well in all aspects.
So you go back in the past of the person to walk them into their now, so that they can propel it forward for a future.
Exactly. And sometimes that walk, Juandolyn, is a wiggly walk. They can barely stand, because no one wants to get, or they don't, I won't say no one wants to get to the root. It's important to get to the root, but it's not important to stay there. We're going to dig that root up. We're not going to just leave it in the ground and just visit it and say, okay, well, this is why I understand. No, we're going to get down dirty in the dirt, knees in the dirt, hands dirty, and we are going to dig that root up in order to be able to, because when you dig it up, you can throw it away. If you just visit it where it's rooted, then it's still in the ground, and you're still going to have those traits. Now, some traits are innately who we are as people.
Right.
And it's up to me to kind of help them, not do the work for them, help them cultivate and be their biggest cheerleader, and hold them accountable for what they say they want to be held accountable to. And that's not always easy, because none of us, even as a life coach, you don't want to hear the truth all the time about you.
Right.
you know Right, not all the time. Give me baby doses. Give me some baby aspirin, and work my way up to that adult aspirin.
Right. You know what's going to help us? We don't want the truth always. We're going to break, and we'll come back with more sister talk right here on Point with Juandolyn Stokes.
Yes.
Greetings, everyone. This is Studio Stephanie, a certified master trainer, life coach.
Hey, y'all. So that's what I was saying. I was told that the subject was going to be coping through stress and anxiety during the holidays. That's what I was told. But when I heard her say what I did in colon cancer survivor, I didn't know what she was going to say. That's why you always have to just be prepared. So I have notes for, of course, coping through the holidays, and some of the things that I talk to my clients about, or my audiences when I speak. But we didn't talk about any of that now. And you got to be able to just roll with it, And a lot of times when you're passionate about something, and it's a part of who you are, it's a little easier, because if they ask me about aerospace and Mars, I wouldn't be able to have that conversation because that's not my level or area of expertise.
Don't have health insurance or your health
So,
insurance costs are too high? Health insurance. That's right.
and maybe we'll get into that, but yeah. So if you're interested in, I know you guys can hear her, so it's pretty much, you don't need to go to the site where she is.
Qualify for a cash card where you could earn cash of up to $500 to use for groceries, utilities, and more. Don't wait. Call 800-614-6849 before the open enrollment period ends to see if you and your family qualify for no-cost health insurance. The call is free, and it takes just minutes to see if you instantly qualify. Call 800-614-6849. That's 800-614-6849. 800-614-6849.
Reimagine this holiday season with more capability and more adventure in Kia's Ever-Ready lineup. This winter, gift yourself what you really want during Kia's season of giving back sales event. Kia is offering great deals on the capable Sorento and the spacious Sportage, and deals on even more vehicles like the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. So visit your local Kia dealer and explore all your newfound possibilities by enjoying Kia's.
So even if she doesn't talk to me about coping mechanisms over the holiday or depression, then I'll do a video live on my social media and still help folks with that, because I think that's an important topic, because there are many people out there who are dealing with seasonal depression when it comes to the holidays. They've lost loved ones. Finances are low. The pressure is high when we're talking about social media and all of that. And it's difficult. So even if I don't get to talk about it here, I will be talking about it, so you all can hear that. And if you want that, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely do that.
That's what living the United feels like to me. My name is Dale Kaczynski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united.
I didn't want to pull out my big mic. I got my little baby mic.
We're here early before they wake up.
Okay.
We stay late.
They're still on a commercial break.
Invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
Can y'all hear me okay?
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one. Together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. Stand strong, united. Stand with us and fight for our veterans. News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
They're playing a song right now.
Right here on News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Kendéll, you're such an inspiration. Talk to us about from this aspect of you and obtaining and saying, I'm not giving up after going through so much or while going through so much in your life. Now at the age of 51, obtaining both your bachelor's and master's degree after age 40 as a single mother. Talk to single mothers right now and mothers at large, pursuing goals and dreams even at a more seasoned age.
Wow, you did your homework. And I must say, I'm 52 now.
Awesome. Wow.
Yes, but
Great.
thank you. And it's so funny because I speak on a lot of platforms and no one asked about that. So that I'm so glad that you did your homework and we're having this real conversation, Juandolyn. It's so important. You are correct. I got 2 college degrees over 50. I had gotten married the first time when I was 20 years old in college, and I was still in college, and I was um, and then I went back to school in my 40s, divorced as a single mom, and um, and I did that. I must say, I was magna cum laude.
Good.
I was, I had
Go
to.
ahead now.
Yes, I had to stop and think. The first semester I went back after many years because I wanted to raise my children to a certain level and I wanted to give them that time and attention in their education. And my oldest daughter was going into college and I said, "You know what? I'm gonna go back." And I waited her first year out and I went back. And the first semester I went back, I made the darn dean's list. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, because I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep it all the way real.
Okay.
Before I went back, I was like, am I still smart? Will I be able to do this? Because I went, no, it wasn't online, and it's no disrespect to anyone who goes to school online because it's still rough, it's still online. But I sat in the classroom after working all day long, seeing clients, going into school, doing homework, late nights, early mornings, have children, still trying to do everything that I was doing, still doing life coaching, still doing at a podcast. I was doing different things. And my mom was like, how are you doing all of this? And I'm like, it's the grace of God in the will. That's how I've always been. So I want to encourage someone to know that all the single moms out there, whether you're divorced, whether you're widowed, whether you've never been married, you can do it. My saying is, it's never too late to remix your life at any stage, age, or phase. All you have to do is make the choice, make the decision to do it. And yes, you are still smart. You are still intelligent. You are still worthy. You are still phenomenal. And you can do anything you choose to do. And I want to really stress that. If you make the choice, so many women come up to me and say, I want to go back to school, but I just don't have the time. I just don't have the bandwidth. It's different now. I totally get it and I understand because when they started saying write that paper in MLA and doing all that, I was like,
Yes.
now what now? I was like, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was like, ho. And I had to learn and relearn some things because years prior, we did things differently. When I was in college, before it was totally a different ball game, a different field. I was like, am I going to be the old one in the room? What is going on? I had all these things that they be Miss Kendéll, Miss Kendéll, can you help me with my but
You were handling a lot. Would you say that time management helped you
oh,
to really be able to
100%.
manage it?
100%.
Okay.
And now that I look back at it now, as I said, I don't often talk about it unless I'm encouraging someone else. But um, now that I look at it, it was literally by the grace of God and time management
Okay.
because I was doing a lot. I had I was vice president of Toastmasters. I'm just thinking as you're speaking, I'm thinking about all the things I was doing. And I don't even understand other than tenacity, and I was not going to quit. I wanted to show my daughters, I wanted to show women over 40 or women over 30, over 50, if you get to a certain
Okay.
age and you put your children first. And a lot of moms do that. They pour everything into their children and they put themselves on the back burner because they want to be a super parent, even unintentionally, right? They want to do all the right things to ensure that their children are going to be the best people they can be, and ultimately a better version of you, if you will. And but I want single moms, you asked me to speak to them, to know that they can do what they want to do. And I know it's difficult. I know it's not always easy. I know that the money is not always there, the time is not always there, and the energy is not always there. But start slow. If you want to do one class, do that. I think I started with 2 or 3. Juandolyn, don't even ask me how. But I did. I started with I believe 2 the first couple of semesters. And and then I graduated, and then I did it again. And I think the last semester I was in, I took 3 classes and my internship. So I'm not saying all of this to say, hey, look what Kendéll did. I'm saying that it's possible. It is possible. You can do it. Don't give up. If it's something that you want to do, start researching schools in your area. Decide what type of learner you are. Can you do it online, or do you need to be sitting in the classroom amongst other like-minded people who are there for the same reasons as you? Start slowly.
Right.
Yeah, start slowly, and then you'll start to see there are a lot of older people. When I went, I said, okay. There are a lot of, older people my age, or was in my age bracket. And it's comforting, but I have to tell you something something funny. So when they were doing the testing, you know how they do the testing, and then they say, okay, so when you're done, you can just leave at your own pace.
Right.
Well, I looked around in the middle of testing, and I looked around, and it was just the older gals and gentlemen left in the room. And I said, in the middle of testing, I said, oh, I see what's happening here. We're the last ones here. And everybody cracked up, because our learning, we want to make sure it's correct. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, as you get older, it's not whippersnapper like the young ones. It just takes a little more time. So have grace with yourself and be patient with yourself, and just know, if you want to do it, you definitely can do it. For sure.
That's good. Grace with yourself. I love that.
Yeah.
We'll go to break. We'll be back with more Sister Talk. And Kendéll will share with us some of the things that you can do in your 50s, whereby you can age fearlessly.
Woo!
We'll go to break, and we'll return.
All right. So we're not talking about anything that I thought we would talk about, but it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm thinking about, it's so funny that you don't think about, when you don't think about your life, you just live your life, right? You don't think about, wow, you don't think about everything that way. You just live your life. And then you're like, well, wow, how did I do that? When I think about it, like, and I graduated magna cum laude. Wow, my God.
War now in its 60th day as the UN warns that even more hellish scenarios about to unfold. Reports say Israel is considering a plan to flood Hamas's tunnels beneath Gaza.
Problem of anti-Semitism on college campuses is front and center on Capitol Hill today. Some Republicans led Jewish students from UPenn, Harvard, MIT, and NYU, like Bella Ingber, talk about the rise of anti-Semitism at their universities.
Being a Jew at NYU is walking the class and torn into face posters of innocent hostages with the words occupier and murderer.
Next up, the presidents of those same schools are facing questions over their handling of anti-Semitism on the campuses during a House subcommittee hearing. College administrators have been accused of failing to respond to surging anti-Semitism following the October attack on Israel by Hamas. Mr. Taylor, NBC News Radio.
Relationship Talk with Dr. Adrian Allen, Dr. WAOK.
Hi, this is Dr. Adrian. Join me for Real Relationship Talk Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on WAOK. This show will bring you real talk with real people from Alaman Enterprise.
Did you know that high blood, high sugar, and cholesterol are all blood-related imbalances? Evidence shows that if you detox your blood, it has an amazing effect on your levels.
So we're on commercial break right now. Um,
Lower your levels and have more
so far we talked about
discover the power of our
me getting 2 degrees in my 40s. Talked about
arrow and purpose.
single moms. We talked about my work and life coaching. Um,
Start feeling better today.
and now we're going to be talking, she said, about
Why not sing
my campaign to age fearlessly.
Thursday? Hamilton Road. Our special for today is a 30-day supply that normally sells for $49.95 on special at $59.95. Give us a call.
So it's good. It's good.
996-6942.
Genetics, stress, hormones, aging, all natural and inevitable factors that lead to hair loss. Fortunately, there is a proven way.
Well, I can put my little notes down when it comes to coping mechanisms for overcoming holiday depression and anxiety, and we're gonna talk about that another time.
All ages. Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology and top-rated position have improved millions of thousands of lives. But time is of the essence. Hair loss from natural factors can eventually reach a point of insurance.
So her show is out of Atlanta. If you're just tuning in, it's called On Point with Juandolyn Stokes, and it's called Sister Talk. So she's had Judge Hatcher on there. She's had, let me see some of the people while we're waiting. Let's see some of the people she's had on there. Let me see.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
So she's had Selena Johnson's sister, Celicia. She's had Jennifer Holliday. Oh, Celeste, her sister Celeste, not Celicia. That's her other sister. She's had Lamar Tyler.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the
She's had Deputy Chief
I kept on trying, and I learned from
of Fulton County Schools, that's in Atlanta. She had actor Curtis Cook, who was on, I guess, The Shy.
you can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
She's had, I can't even go through. She's had a lot of great conversation. Wait, I think she's coming back.
A-OK.
Hey, sister, oh.
What are some of the things that women can do to age fearlessly? You know, sometimes as women we can be concerned about our skin or concerned about our bodies and not able to move as much as we used to be able to move when we were younger. How do you age fearlessly?
I love that. I'm on a mission to get women to age fearlessly. Aging gracefully, people say, and that's cute and everything. But aging fearlessly means you're doing it without fear. You're taking the aging process as it comes. We're not going to look the same. We're not going to move the same. Our skin may be different. You know what I mean? And the first step is to really embracing that we are still here on this earth. So to celebrate aging and not look at it as a bad thing. Aging means we're still alive. It's an amazing thing. You know, I think about one of my cousins who passed away. She was 19, and that's when I started singing, and I was 17. And I didn't think that I would live to 19 because she died. In my young mind, that was trauma. And I talk about that in my book. I didn't even realize it was trauma. So when I start being proud of my age and celebrating my age, because there are so many people who haven't made it to the marks that we are, listening, who whatever age you are right now, there are a lot of people who didn't even make it to that. So the first is just acknowledging you're getting older and being super okay with that. Things may not be the same. I look in the mirror and I say, "Oh, I remember when it's not like that now." But I remember when. I remember when, I have alopecia as well. And I'm like, okay, that's different. Okay, teeth, okay, they shifted a little bit. That's different. Okay, they say your hair texture changes. Okay, you may have weight in some places that you never had before. Okay, you have to look in the mirror and be able to love who's looking back at you. And it sounds cliche, but it's really, 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 really true and really important, because when you're looking back at you, you can see you looking back at you, meaning your vision is working. You're still here. So there are a lot of amazing things that happen with age. It's wisdom. It's being honest with yourself, self acceptance, learning to take care of you, learning to that putting you first is not selfish. Iyanla said one time, it's self full. I heard that about 15 years ago, and I'm like, wow, it really is. So aging fearlessly is doing it without fear. Aging gracefully is like, okay, well, let me get a facelift. Let me hold on to what I have left. Let me do this way because I want to be graceful. Sometimes you may not be graceful with it, but you can always be fearless. Like, it is what it is. And I'm going to age and I'm going to do it fearlessly. I feel like I'm getting younger as I'm getting older.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's one's approach to the whole aging process and making sure you don't walk in fear with it.
Yeah.
That things do transform or things are different, but not to look at it in a negative way.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And tell us about that time when you're just going for your routine colonoscopy. You're just going to the doctor, your routine checkup, and the doctor comes back and says, "What?"
Woo.
How did you respond to that mentally,
Ooh.
emotionally? And how did you begin that journey of healing?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. So March 2021, not that long ago, March 5th, 2021, I was going to get my routine colonoscopy because I was approaching the age of 50. And my doctor said, well, in your 50th year, you have to go get your colonoscopy, right? So I'm like, okay. And she said, you have a year to do it. I was still 49 at that time. And I said, okay. And I could have waited the whole year because you're 50 for 365 days. I could have waited. And God was like, go now. It was 3 months before I was turning 50. And God was like, you need to go now. And I made my appointment. I went. I didn't have any symptoms. 7 out of 10 people, that's what I want people to know, do not have symptoms for colon cancer. I didn't have symptoms. I was, yes.
Wow, no symptoms at all.
No, I was going because that was a routine. That was my first one. Just like at 40, when you go get your mammograms, I've gotten them then. Yeah. This was, okay, let me go get my colonoscopy. So one of my girlfriends took me because she had just had one. So, and you have to be put to sleep under anesthesia. So she was like, I'll take you. So she took me, and I go get the colonoscopy, not worried, not concerned. I've gotten mammograms before, and you always have that tinge in the back of your mind and that silent prayer to make sure everything is okay. But unbeknownst to me, I wasn't even thinking that something would not be okay when I went to get the colonoscopy. I had no clue. I had never experienced it. So I go get the colonoscopy, and I walk in happy and I come out and I'm still groggy a little bit. I hear the doctors, my friend's name is Kim. I hear the doctor saying, is her friend here? Kimberly, is she here? I can hear that, but I'm kind of like out in the recovery area. And they said, okay, she's on her way back. So I see my friend come in, And she's standing there with me because they didn't want to give me the news now that I know while I was alone. And they told me, and he said, well, we did the colonoscopy. He told me right on the spot, well, we did the colonoscopy and I saw a mass. And I'm looking at him and I said, are you, and I'm calm. I'm extremely calm. If somebody would have told me, if I would have thought, if someone told me that I had cancer, I would respond in this way, I wouldn't believe it. I thought I would be screaming, hollering, like running around the floor. But when he said, I see a mass, and I said, are you joking? He said, I wouldn't joke for something like this. And I said, so what do I do? And he said, well, we took a biopsy. We're going to send it for testing. But what you would do is you'll go to surgery. They will remove that part of your colon where the cancer is. And he proceeds to tell me what's going to happen. And I say, okay. And I look at my friend there too. And she has a calming spirit too. So of course that helped. She wasn't screaming either. We were both, some might say, unrealistically calm, but we were. So then we get in the car and he giving me information. He said, okay, when you get home in about 3 to 5 days, we'll let you know if it's cancer. But I'm like, if this man looks at colons every single day and he sees something out of the ordinary that he normally doesn't see, God was just saying, believe him. So in the car, I called, my kids and I let them know. And it's just like, wow, okay. So saying it back it takes your breath away when you're saying the words. And I still, at that time, I could not even say cancer. I was saying the C word because I could not I could not I hadn't had time to process it. It was like he told me, and then 5 minutes later, I'm telling, someone else. So while I'm in the car, I just schedule my surgery. I'm like, I'm not waiting. I scheduled the surgery. So I go through all of this. So fast forward, he calls me in a couple of days and he says, okay, now you have to move forward with booking your surgery because it is in fact cancer, colon cancer. And I said, okay. I said, well, I've already booked it. My surgery date is March 18th. And he's like, well, wait, what? He said, oh, you weren't playing. I wasn't. So the next week I went in after my appointment, my colonoscopy appointment, I went in for all of my testing and I went alone. Not that I didn't have anybody to go with me. I just went alone.
Really?
I went that whole week. Now that I think about it, I was just in that mode. I made the appointments to get my EKG and all of the testing, my blood work. And when I got my blood work, the woman said to me, and Juandolyn, ooh, you bringing up some feelings. The woman said,
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Kendéll. Let me go to break, and we'll come right back.
Woo.
Give you a moment. We'll go to break.
Okay.
Hey.
Whew, she left y'all with a cliffhanger. It's like I don't talk about that often, like that. I gotta chill in my body right now talking about that. Whew. So I'll give you guys a sneak preview. So, well, I'll wait. Whew. Life, man. And I'm still here. Whoop de whoop whoop. And I'm still here. Whew. She did a real cliffhanger. Like on television when they're getting a story and leave that cliffhanger. So you guys know with radio, there are certain times that you have to take breaks. There are certain times you have to pay the bills, as they say, getting all the ads and all of that. And I think she's been doing her don't hold me to this, but I think she's been doing this show like 15 years. She's been doing it for a long time.
debt
Let me
relief.
see.
Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. It helps qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt.
My heart is beating fast, y'all.
Bureau.
Because I don't talk about that like that. You know what I mean? I'll tell my story to help other people, but I'm not asked particular questions. So that brings up a different feeling.
Have you been injured on the job? Call
It brings up a different feeling. So they're on break right now.
Turn fear and frustration into care and compensation. Everyone at Bader Scott is committed to your recovery and getting you the best settlement. Call 404-888-8888.
So this show is On Point with Juandolyn Stokes. It comes on Monday through Friday it's a radio show from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Saturdays from 3:30 to 6 o'clock. So she's on the air every day except Sunday. And it says that she's also a pastor. And she's doing good work. So guys, look her up. She helps victims of emergency disaster. She's a supporter of American Diabetes Association, American Cancer Society, and the National Kidney Foundation. She's a broadcaster, educator, speaker, and an advocate for causes related to teens, women, health, and wellness. Her mantra is live well and win well. So she's doing the work. I love that. She was a part of a morning show for 15 years. That's what it was. A popular show. You guys in Atlanta might know Joy in the Morning. You guys might know that. And then she also did she had a broadcasting career in Pittsburgh called Sheridan Gospel Network. And then she Inspirations Across America and Georgia. And then Rejoice Music Network she worked for in Dallas. She's a radio veteran, clearly. She's also a former Atlanta music producer. Her face is familiar with TV appearances from Central City Productions in Chicago and in Las Vegas and Atlanta. And her face does look familiar. I'm going to show y'all who she is that's speaking. This is her. Uh-oh. She might be coming back, so I don't know.
The remix coach, Lenice, certainly glad to have you sharing with us. I think, just your overall story just covers so much. And I see why you are a transformational coach and why it's important to you to encourage and even to empower women because you've been able to survive a lot and to continue on your journey of just even evolving as a wonderful person. Let me ask you about your last book, your recent book, Excuse Me, Your Unhealed is Showing. Now, you've authored, 3 books plus. I'm quite sure you're probably getting ready to write another one. But why is it important? Why did you start the title of your book, Excuse Me? Is it something that you just wanted to keep telling and encouraging people who read your book? What is it that you wanted to really say?
Yeah. Well, with the title, I wanted to really grab people and not in a way to sell books, but to make them think. Excuse Me, Your Unhealed is Showing. And I remember I was going to title it something else. And I was speaking to a group of women in Maryland. And I said, excuse me, Your Unhealed is Showing, because I would say it all the time. And the way that those women gasp God was like, that's the title. Change that title that you had. That's the title. And every time I say that title, because all of our unhealed shows in many different spaces and places, when we're defensive, when we feel extra emotional, when we feel left out, when we feel abandoned or rejected, and how our behavior displays that. um a lot of people think, well, that woman is mean, or they're this way. And it's like, no, they're not. Their unhealed is just showing. And it sometimes shows up as personality, but it really isn't. It's the unhealed spaces. That's why it's so important to give people grace, right? Because you don't know their story, you don't know what they've been through. And the first time they may say something that's uncomfortable or you don't like, or they feel like they're getting smart or defensive, it's best to just fall back a little bit and give them grace. I'm not saying allow people to talk to you recklessly and treat you badly. I'm just saying, everybody is going through this journey, whether they started their healing journey, they're restarting, they're discovering that they need to start, whatever it is. The unhealed is showing. And when our unhealed is showing, that's where the work begins. So if something gives you that little tinge, or you feel yourself bubbling over, or you're ready to explode on someone emotionally, you have to fall back and say, okay, that's the starting place of my healing, and I need to get whatever that is in check. So it's, excuse me, your unhealed is showing, like you're saying that, but you're speaking from an unhealed place.
And it's also a self-actualization moment
Yeah.
when you say that you're kind of realizing, what's happening with you or what's going on with you, and that you perhaps need to get help, assistance, coaching, whatever it is, 100%. To feel better or to do better. Yeah, awesome. Well, tell our audience, how they can connect with you and follow you, and all of the things that you do.
Yes, thank you so much for that opportunity.
Sure.
Kendéll Lenice, at Kendéll Lenice across social media. That's KENDELL And for more information, if you want me to come speak to your group, or if you want to purchase my book, or if you want to connect with me as a life coach, definitely go to KendéllLenice.com. And that's the same KENDELLLENICE.com. And then all of my books are available on Amazon.com.
Awesome. Give me a high five. You
Hey! Oh, praise God. Thank you. Thank you so much. I thought I was coming on here to talk about coping with anxiety and depression and stress during the holidays, but this was a pleasant, this was awesome. I appreciate you so much, more than you know.
Listen, I appreciate you too, because I think the stories and things we talked about actually helped to inspire people who are dealing with depression and anxiety,
Wow.
And the holiday stress. Because, just because it's the holidays doesn't mean that things that people are experiencing go away.
Come on.
Sometimes it manifests itself even more when the holidays come.
So true.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for inspiring and empowering all of us. And keep soaring, my sister.
Oh, I appreciate you, Juandolyn. Thank you so much. If you ever need me to, I am here. I appreciate you more than you know.
Awesome. And I appreciate you too. Have a great one now.
You too. Thank you. Be well.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Stay on point. Be well. Listen, it's been great today with everyone. Thank you for listening and being a part of On Point with Juandolyn Stokes, keeping you on point legally, keeping you on point in your life, inspiring you and encouraging you, and also informing you about things that are happening in the news and engaging you in conversation. That's what it's all about, keeping you on point. Well, of course, want to say thank you to Chantel and to Angela. That's the On Point team. Girl power. That's right. Listen, stay connected to Juandolyn Stokes. We'll be here tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. That's right. Make sure you stay connected on Facebook. It's On Point with Juandolyn Stokes. And also on IG and X, it's at Juandolyn Stokes. Listen, got a webinar coming up, and it's going to be talking about identity, and I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. So make sure you're tuned in. Have a good one. I'm out of here.
Yay! What y'all think? If you're just tuning in now, go back to listen. So I have to figure out where I can actually listen. Maybe it'll be up. Let me see the website with some. Okay, so some of the other ones, they're up. So maybe mine will be up maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I'll leave you with this. So if you were watching before, and I left off with, I went to go get my my blood work. The lady, when I went to get my blood work, she was like, "You're inspiring me." Just something. She was like, "You're just so pleasant." Like she was speaking life into me, and I didn't even know what I was going through. I was going there to get blood work because I had to get cancer surgery. And she thanked me for being a light and had no idea what I was there for. Because in myself, I was dealing with a whole lot in my head. Imagine you're doing this because you got cancer and you're about to go into the cancer surgery. So you're not even thinking, like my mind probably wasn't even there. So for her to be able to say that, that showed me that there was still a light in me and life in me and more to live. So deep. When I think about all of that, like wow. And then next week I was in surgery. And here I am now, 2.5 years later. To God be the glory. Like for real. For real. Thank y'all for the listening and to the interview. This is the behind the scenes footage of a radio interview. Bye, y'all. Thank you for watching. I got to go process my feelings.